When that man fall, when everybody see Dame, the first thing you think about is Hove. First, Dame Hove. Like, why do we even care about Dame? Because of Hove.
He blew it. He had Jay-Z. He had the most important artist of his generation. So Dame's antics were just, it became like people also, over time, you mature.
You tell me, what happened to Dame? I don't want to work with Jay-Z. I don't want to work with Leo Cohen. I don't want to work with Steve Stout. Everyone talking about me, I outgrew them in 2005.
And they was sniffing a key a day of ego. Pause. 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 I'm a boss. Pause. 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 That nigga's high off that goddamn ego.
You know, but the algorithm was, the last chicken that chose to, thought I was the coolest. So I wouldn't bring me around Beyoncé if I was him. I'm the coolest thing in the world.
You believe that?
Welcome back, and what's good? This is the Furious Robinson podcast, and I'm your host, Furious. I'm here to document ego, power, leverage, and accountability in media. Hit the like button early, drop a comment for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. This is a Sick Times Media production. You see the planes. Dame Dash, once again, the monologue mogul, back in the media cycle as he continues to talk about Jay-Z. But we've hit a nastier level. It gets worse. He's now adding in Beyoncé as well as Aaliyah. How they met, how young they were, and how Beyoncé had eyes for Dame.
But the algorithm was, the last chicken that chose to, thought I was the coolest. So I wouldn't bring me around Beyoncé if I was him. I'm the coolest thing in the world.
Now let's just wake it up, because this to me is a masterclass in clout chasing. This is clout chasing in 4K. What does this have to do with business? Does business not move strategic and in silence? When did you ever see anyone with financial wealth operate like Dame Dash? But when you're Dame and you move like this, like you're still a boss, like we're still in the 2000s, this is what we get. We get clout chasing. We don't get strategic moves.
I don't get it. What happened to Dame?
So I'm not even surprised at this point. This is what you get from the monologue mogul. You get another saga of Chatty Patty Dame. What are we actually looking at? I don't see a business model. I don't see an infrastructure. And when I try to look and find, I see things like America New, which is a failing platform. I see things like Nikki Licky, who has maybe 200, 300 monthly Spotify listeners. How is this someone that's hot?
Nikki Licky got a hit record with Petey Crack.
I don't see the Soho houses. I don't see the New York Times articles. So Dame has to make it make sense to me, because this ain't about Jay-Z. This ain't about Beyonce. Let's get back to business. Let's get back to how you're in financial ruin.
But what happened to Dame? Dame just continues to be independent, work without him, talk shit, and continues to make and have motion every day. It hasn't been one day since Roc-A-Fella I haven't done something to make history for this world. Look at all the motion. What happened to Dame? Dame is still doing what Dame do in luxury and doing things no one else does, and still free enough to say what he wants. What happened to Dame? He started dressing better? His houses got bigger? What happened? He got bigger businesses? What happened to Dame? He started to make books and television networks and doing live bands. His army is still the same. He still has the same amount of people that work with him every day.
I like to operate in logic. Let's start with the easiest thing to verify, the business. Dame talks ownership, independence, being a boss, and building empires. All of that is cool. Now just show me. Where is it? Not old Roc-A-Fella stories, not back in the day, not these hypothetical visions of Soho House or Grammy nods or a Simon & Schuster book deal. All of these things are curated content in Dame's mind. He's still not the chairman of Revolt. Just think about it. If you're building at a high level, we should see some motion. We should see something moving, right? You should see the membership houses being built. You should see the smash hit artists on the Billboard charts. You should see the platforms. Where is Dame's content when he's not talking about Jay?
Again, like, regardless to what, I don't think Homeboy has any business acumen. So I'm like, he can't direct, he can't produce, he can't edit, he can't shoot. He doesn't do anything. So I'm like, why would anybody give that person that opportunity other than to leverage something?
We worried about you, man. Do you need some money?
And listen, I get it. It's media, it's COE, it gets the people going. But I'm trying to separate real strategic business, talking about it, from the people who are actually shaking and baking in the real world. That's the disconnect. This isn't an infrastructure. This is storytelling with confidence. And confidence without execution is pure noise. So we have to acknowledge the non-moguls in the room, because moving this sloppy, moving as someone with power, with access, with resources, you have to know what to say, when to say it, and when not to say it. And Dame seems to be always on the side of saying something that does not need to be said.
My partners, people that I work with, people I've teased, people I've laughed at, people's wives that I've fucked. Them niggas in the Epstein files. All my partners that are being mentioned, I've hated them for a while for the betrayal. But now I'm like, damn, you love me so much that you wouldn't include me.
Right.
So now Jay's my brother. I love him. And if what they say is true, he's a devil.
And that's why he's no longer in those rooms. Dame Dash should have been a billionaire. His peers are living a lavish life, a life of luxury, one he wants to live, one he's created in his mind. But when you don't understand where you're at and you start to move in a fashion that is essentially distasteful to the room, this is what you get. So let's just be real. People adjust around you. They limit access. They create distance. They protect their environment. And it's not because they're trying to hide something. They're protecting their peace. And that's not hate. That's called a boundary. You got to get away from people like Dame to protect your peace. And if every disagreement eventually turns into public commentary, people do not trust you with proximity or access. That's not a conspiracy. That's a consequence of being a chatty patty.
I don't care about Beyonce. She was a kid to me. I wasn't even thinking about Beyonce. I promise you that. I was running behind like Giselle and Naomi Campbell. Like, it was different. She was a kid to me. I was running with like, I was looking at women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew them before. It's hard to unsee people. So I'm not saying she was, like, we knew her when she was 16. So I couldn't unsee her as 16. It's still hard for me to unsee her as 16.
This is the real issue. This is arrested development. This feels like someone mentally stuck in an era where they had the loudest voice in the room, still talking like it's the Roc-A-Fella days, still moving like volume equals power. But the game evolved. Jay-Z evolved and the industry left Dame behind. And if you don't evolve with it, that's what happens. You go from a builder to a reactor and commentator. You go from an operator of industries to a personality. And now you're a talking head tycoon, the monologue mogul, the essential Hall of Fame inductee of chatty patty behavior. And I can always give Dame some grace. He was 1/3 of Reasonable Doubt. He preached ownership for over a decade and still does. He tries to promote the black community, although he's hanging out with a mid-tier mall worker named Nikki Licky. But at the end of the day, the real issue here is infrastructure, real business, and what are you giving back to the culture? Because you can sit online and be emotional about how Jay-Z did you wrong in the 2000s, but what are you actually bringing back now? What have you done for me lately? Everything with Dame is chat. I haven't seen one Grammy. I haven't seen one Revolt deal. I haven't even seen his son's cookies. He will even say things like his son being attached to Sony and making EDM music. And when you do the research, there's nothing there.
And I like the EDM stuff that you're doing. I like where you're at now. I look forward to you putting out these records through Sony.
Cap.
When I look at a lot of this chatty patty behavior, I make these videos for y'all, the human shields that continue to essentially champion this behavior and promote this behavior.
Hey, dog, I hate to be the one to break it to you.
Very bad news.
Get this shit the fuck out of here and get you the fuck out of here.
As I gracefully land the plane, Jay-Z is never responding to this. Why would he? He's moving on to the next deal, the next venture, the next level. This is a different altitude because while one man continues revisiting the past, the other one keeps building in real time in the future. That's the difference between real power and this performance art and cosplay that Dame continues to give us. Real leverage does not argue every week.
I just thought and I know they just was all clowns to me. They was just suckers. They ain't never done nothing. And they just couldn't fathom I was a boss and they wasn't.
You're not gonna fucking talk to me, huh? This is all your fucking fault. You ended my fucking life.
After everything I fucking did for you, you not gonna fucking talk to me?
Real leverage moves quietly, and silence at that level, it may seem like weakness, but it's very strategic. Jump in them comments and let me know what you think as Dame Dash continues to be the chatty patty on the timeline, the talking head tycoon. Is this a strategic play to stay in the algorithm? Or is this just nasty levels of clout chasing as he continues to talk about Homeboy, aka Jay-Z, as well as insinuating Beyoncé and Aaliyah and a host of others? Hit the like button for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and you already know I'm on Instagram popping it weekly. I'm outside, real motion. I'm on X, giving it up. I'm not holding back. I'm tweeting my soul out on X, and respectfully, I'm on YouTube every Tuesday morning. We getting it 9 a.m. EST, just waking up the timeline. This is the Furious Robinson podcast, a Sick Times Media production. Stay dangerous.